Someone murdered a 16-year-old girl. The prosecutor told jurors they may never hear why this happened. Want to get to WSBT-22's Kelly Stopczynski. Kelly's been covering this at the courthouse today, and that comment that we're talking about here was made during opening statements in Phillip Geans' murder trial today. He, of course, charged with shooting and killing Teresa Burns in her Mishawaka home back in 1988. Kelly, I want to get to this because a pathologist testified Teresa was shot in the head, shot in the face 6 times.
One of them, Jennifer, with the barrel of the gun touching the skin on her forehead. And she was covered in blood the night her brother found her dead inside their home. Jurors saw those gruesome pictures of her body and heard from some of the last people to see and talk to Teresa Burns before she died. Teresa Burns' best friend testified Teresa left school during study hall on January 11th, 1988. Susan Fawcett-Rathwick told jurors she saw Teresa for the last time around 10:30 that morning because Teresa started her menstrual cycle and had permission to go home and change her clothes. The sophomore would have taken a transpo bus the 4 or 5 miles home from Mishawaka High School to the Twin Branch area where she lived, Fawcett-Rathwick told jurors. Teresa's boyfriend at the time testified Teresa called him around 11:30 that morning and he was surprised she'd left school. They talked for about 10 or 15 minutes. I heard the doorbell ring. Someone came to the door and she told me to hang on, said Sean Matthews, who is now 43 years old. I asked who it was and she said somebody wanted to use her phone. Did you continue to talk on the phone? Asked prosecutor Ken Cotter. Yes, Matthews replied. Later on when we were hanging up, I heard the doorbell again. They said goodbye and hung up shortly after, he said. Matthews, who had dropped out of high school, testified he took the bus to UP Mall around 1:30 or 2 with friends and got back home early that evening. That's when his mother told him the news about Teresa, his girlfriend of a couple months. Both Matthews' mom and a friend also took the witness stand corroborating his story. Matthews testified he did not know Phillip Geans. Teresa's best friend told jurors she dated Geans the summer before, and Teresa often hung out with them. Fawcett-Rathwick said there were never arguments or problems when the group was together, and she and Geans broke up on good terms. Teresa's older brother found her around 5 o'clock that evening. I expect him to testify about that first thing tomorrow, and also either tomorrow or the next day, the jury will hear from investigators about the gun forensics involved in this case and why it took investigators so long to link a .22 caliber handgun to Phillip Geans and peg it on him as having the murder weapon. Jennifer?
Well, Kelly, let's talk about Geans for just a moment here. What's his demeanor been like?
You know, he seemed pretty relaxed so far during the trial. Jury selection last week, he gave one of his aunts sitting in court a thumbs up when it started. He's leaning back in his chair quite often, seeming like he's pretty comfortable. Also, every once in a while, he'll look back at the Burns family. Also today, made some eye contact with jurors as the judge was reading their instructions. Jennifer?
Yeah, I've seen how difficult this is just in the family's faces and their reactions, so I can't even imagine. And I know you'll be back in court again tomorrow. Kelly, thank you very much.